Listen, man, you guys just don't listen to me. You guys just don't listen to me. The Arizona Cardinals, according to an ESPN writer, have the second best potential job opening in the NFL, and that's absolutely true. Let's talk about that and much more on this edition of the Ben Garcia Show.
The Ben Garcia Show. Yeah. Woo. Best show in the land. Yup. Listen. Come and get your information from Ben Garcia. Get the latest on your quarterback, running backs, and receivers. Tune in, so any other show you don't need them. Any news that he giving out, please just believe him. Giving out the latest prediction and top-notch analysis. Wanna hear the truth, better have thick skin like calluses. The latest move that your team just made can be damaging. The dudes ain't speaking no facts, they just be rambling. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. Yeah. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. The Ben Garcia Show.
What is up? Welcome in to yet another edition of the Ben Garcia Show. Appreciate you guys being in here this morning. Don't forget to hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. It is a Friday night, or I guess it's a Friday morning, before the Arizona Cardinals take on the Atlanta Falcons. But you know what? Let's start with that. Let's start with the Arizona Cardinals and the Atlanta Falcons this weekend. The Atlanta Falcons aren't much better than the Arizona Cardinals. They've got 5 wins this year. They're missing a lot of players, but still it feels like they can do the things that can expose the Arizona Cardinals. And it feels like Jonathan Gannon is one more blowout loss away from losing his job. And I know people say, well, he should have already lost it anyways. I'm not disagreeing with that at this point. It feels like more and more that comes out, the more we see that Jonathan Gannon is closer to losing his job, not keeping it. But it feels like Michael Bidwill has already made up his mind, and he's going to keep Jonathan Gannon around. And the only way that's going to change is if it's each and every week a new blowout loss. And we have only seen a few different of those right now. And it's been the Seattle Seahawks, who are a really good team, the San Francisco 49ers, who are a really good team, the Rams, and now the Texans. If you lose this game this weekend, 35-20, another multi-score loss where the game is over in the fourth quarter and all we're doing is getting cardio, I don't know how much more Jonathan Gannon can survive that. Like, forget what you think. Forget what I think. At some point, Michael Bidwill, who's cheap, isn't a great owner, is going to see it as well. And I think it's going to be something that potentially is Jonathan Gannon's undoing. And you see what they've got this week against the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals can't stop anyone. Over their last few games, they've been giving up nearly 150 rushing yards a game. Bijan Robinson had like 150 all-purpose yards his game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2 weeks ago, who've got a much better run defense than the Cardinals have. You combine that with a Cardinals defense that likes to play a lot of zone with an older quarterback in Kirk Cousins who, let's call it what it is, it's hard to fool these older cats. It's not me saying Kirk Cousins is going to be awesome. He might be. But it's going to be tough to fool him and force him into some really bad turnovers. He's susceptible to it for sure. But I'm not saying it's going to be easy. And it just feels like not a great matchup for the Cardinals this weekend. But still, I don't think that they're going to get destroyed like they have to the likes of the Texans, Rams, Niners, and Seahawks games. But it feels like Jonathan Gannon is still fighting for his job. He's still fighting for relevancy in Michael Bidwill's mind to keep his job. But that's as much previewing that I want to do on that game. Because let's call it what it is. It really doesn't matter that much. Cardinals win, that would be terrible. I mean, truthfully, we're at the point of the season that if they lose, it's the worst thing for them. But if they lose this game this weekend, it's not a great, or if they win this game this weekend, it's a bad sight to behold. Because at this point, the only objective should be stacking up losses and getting up as close as you can to that number 1 overall pick. Because it is not impossible that if you get the 4th, 3rd, 5th overall pick, you call up whoever gets the number 1 overall pick and ask them what it would take to deal and get to number 1 to select Fernando Mendoza. That's the only objective the Cardinals should be going after this weekend. I know that winning matters and building a culture matters, but it doesn't matter to me when it feels like the head coach has got 1 foot out the door. I'm not interested in that. There's no reason to win this weekend. And the Cardinals are going to try to. Obviously, they're not going to be a team that's going to not try to. Here's the good part of this week's game. Even if the Cardinals even if the Cardinals beat the Falcons this weekend, the Falcons would still be ahead of the Cardinals in the draft order because they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last weekend. So, and of course, I say this as it would actually be the Rams pick at 6th. But you still want to separate those because the Rams, are going to try and trade up. That is what they do. They are aggressive. They are tenacious. They are relentless. You got to separate yourself because one thing the Cardinals are not are ruthless, aggressive, tenacious. They're not that. But I could see them moving up from 4-1, 5-1. But I could see the Rams doing it much more. So you want to separate and make it so that the Rams, who are at the 8th pick or at the 9th pick, and making life tougher on them as a whole. Now, here's the crux of the show. Here's the main thing of the show. And it's another thing where it's like, I was right again on this. I know that I don't have the heavy analytical in terms of X's and O's mind because I don't want to fool you guys into thinking that I'm sitting here grinding tape. I think the worst thing people do on social media is flex to you how much tape they watched on YouTube about a quarterback that they really don't know much about. No one is sitting there grinding the tape. They're not. But what I will say is I understand football. I understand basketball. I understand baseball. My eyes don't lie to me. And despite numerous people telling me this is not a good job, no one would want to come here, the players aren't good enough, ESPN's own Bill Barnwell, very respected journalist, came out with his ranking of head coaching potential openings and ranked them 1 all the way down to 7. I'm sorry. Ranked them 1 all the way to 8. So, despite everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, despite mostly everyone, despite most Cardinals fans and media telling me this would not be a desirable job, ESPN's Bill Barnwell came out with a ranking of the potential head coaching openings in the NFL. And the Arizona Cardinals came in 2nd, as they should. Number 1 was the Cincinnati Bengals. What's the number 1 reason coaches get fired? They don't have the quarterback. So the Cincinnati Bengals might not have much of anything else, but they have the quarterback, and it's a pretty damn good one. So coaches will be lining up to be Joe Burrow's head coach. But here's the other thing. The Arizona Cardinals have just about everything else. They listed that the Cardinals' cap space would be 17th most in the NFL at about $40 million. They're projected to have the 6th most draft capital. And on a team that features numerous good players, Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, Walter Nolan, Will Johnson, Budda Baker. This team has dudes. This is not a team deprived of talent. They've been really injured this year. and you can question the coaching, this team is better than what we have been shown this year. And it's where the Fire Jonathan Gannon crowd have a real argument. It shouldn't look this bad with the amount of good players they have. And so Bill Barnwell ranking it the second most desirable job makes a lot of sense to me. It's why I will continue to say this is a quicker fix than most media and Cardinals fans will tell you. Not only are they going to have a fourth place schedule next year, but they're probably not going to have the same injury luck that they had this year. If they find the quarterback, if they get lucky enough to draft or trade up for a Fernando Mendoza, this team can go from bad to really good really quickly. And other head coaching candidates are going to see that. Whether it's a Joe Brady, a Clint Kubiak, a Brian Flores, a Mike McCarthy, I don't know. But it's why the Cardinals shouldn't be so hesitant to get rid of a guy in Jonathan Gannon. I know I've had some reservations about it, but it's been mostly just about me not wanting to continuously fire coaches. But what have I continued to say all season long? This team is closer than you think. They've got the dudes. They've got players. They've got the defense. They've got mostly the offensive weaponry. All they've got to do, find a right tackle and find the quarterback, and this team can be really good. I know it's easy to put your head in the sand and be Mr. Woe is me guy. We can't have anything great. Arizona sports is cursed. I don't do that game here. I give it to you straight. And it's no surprise to me that the only team Bill Barnwell of ESPN says the Cardinals' potential head coaching vacancy is worse than is a team in first place with a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I mean, look at the teams behind the Cardinals. The Cardinals are close, guys. They're much closer than you give them credit for because of the talent and how close they are at the quarterback and right tackle position. That's all they got to find. But this team can be revitalized with a new quarterback and a new head coach. Just like that. Because the surrounding talent around them is still really good. Check out these teams behind the Cardinals. Cleveland Browns, terrible organization. In the midst of a 5-year, $230 million disastrous contract of Deshaun Watson. But they've got some dudes. 4 Tennessee Titans. They've got a lot of cap space, but again, that doesn't really mean anything to have the most cap space in the NFL. Who cares? Free agency is fool's gold. Ask the Arizona Cardinals with some of their free agent acquisitions outside of Mack Wilson and Josh Sweat. 5th, the New York Giants. You want to know why they're 5th? Because they've been a dysfunctional organization. We're not sure if they have the quarterback. They might. We don't know. Falcons, 6th. They don't have a first-round pick. They don't have a first-round pick, and they don't have the quarterback. 7th, Dolphins. God, they're in hell. 8th, Las Vegas Raiders. Who, I got to be honest with you, have been really disappointing this season. I thought the Raiders would be better. Here's the other stuff. My guy, Michael Evans in the chat. Sorry about this, man. I didn't see that. Thank you. Merry Christmas as well to you and yours. Thanks, man. For the donation. Did you watch last night's Thursday night football game? Just really briefly, I just want to mention this. It's further evidence that Jonathan Gannon probably is not the head coach of this team. You saw two masterminds go at it last night. And the defensive head coach won. And I gotta be honest with you, Seattle's defense was terrible last night. That's not what you pay Mike McDonald for. But credit to him for recognizing, I got to get an offensive mind in here. I've got to get the right quarterback in here. I'll figure out the defensive side of things. And to be fair, his defense did slow down the Rams a couple of weeks ago. But it's wild just how far off this season the Cardinals were in the NFC West. You saw two masterminds. Sorry about that, guys. Still getting over being sick. You saw two masterminds go at it yesterday. This NFC West is full of a bunch of juggernauts, which continue to show me and tell me this team needs to find their next great quarterback and head coach, and they need to do it fast. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what you have around you. If there's no stability at the head coach and quarterback position, everything else falls. And yeah, my guy Michael Evans in the chat. We are so behind, it's crazy. I don't think they're that far behind. Like, this season was just the season from hell. They've got so many injuries. They don't, like, their quarterback got injured. Remember the quarterback that everyone tells me is so great? Like, it's just the season from hell. Every NFL season is different. Let's not compare them all the same. This can get figured out quickly. And I truthfully think that, even if others don't. Speaking of my guy Saul in the chat saying he watched the Suns game last night, I also did that. Did a Locked On Suns episode about it. Here's something crazy about my personal life. I didn't get to do Locked On Suns until crazy late last night, so go check out that show. Full in-depth analysis of Suns Warriors. But part of the reason why it took me so long to do the show last night is one of my closest friends, our closest married friends, me and my wife, our closest married friends, and his wife and my wife are pregnant right now. And it was kind of cool. They're best friends. They've been pregnant together. It's been great. My wife is further along than she is by a few weeks, and my wife isn't due until February. They had their baby last night, 3 months early. And it was like, are we going to the hospital? What the hell is going on? Is everyone okay? These are our closest married friends. Like, are they okay? How are they doing emotionally? Wild. Everyone is alive, happy, and thriving. Babies in the NICU, but it's just like, wow. It was insanity last night. Like, they had their baby 3 months early. The baby came out 2 pounds. Wild, just wild. But that's why I'm A, really tired this morning, because we weren't sure what we were doing, and then B, why Locked On Suns came out so late. But with that being said, and it's so funny because we were supposed to have our baby in February, and it was like our daughter was going to be older than their son, and now it's the other way around. Like, their son's going to be older by a few months. Just wild. God works in crazy ways. Praise God that everyone is okay. But that's why it took so long yesterday to get up Locked On Suns. So the Suns last night went up against the Warriors, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to do the show that you want to hear. I do the show that you need to hear. And I got to be honest with you, I was a little disappointed with other shows last night that I'll go and check out after my own. I don't want anyone's opinions clogging my opinion. That's why sometimes my opinions are one of one, and you're like, where the hell did you get that? I learned this from my mentor, Jody Ayler at Fox Sports 910, that don't listen to anyone else. Form your own opinion, then see what everyone else has to say, and you can compare it if you want to, but you don't have to. My whole big opinion from last night's game was was I hated the Suns' effort last night. Here's the main good takeaway, and I'll lead with the good always. Good teams find a way to win ugly. And the Suns found a way to win ugly last night. And good teams do that. Despite the Suns shooting sub 40% from the field, despite them not being able to buy a three-point jumper, 39% from the field, 41% from the field, 29% from three. Shooting under 80% from the free throw line. Despite them doing all that, they found a way to win. They found a way to win. And that's great. Good teams find a way to what? Win ugly. It's an actual art. It's a skill. It's not something that everyone has. However, the Suns have set a standard of effort, grittiness, toughness, tenaciousness all season long that over their past 3 games, I have not seen. Now, this is not last year's team. This is not last year's Phoenix Suns team where there was no effort at times, where you're like, what the hell is going on? I'm not comparing them to that. This Suns team always shows effort and some resiliency and some grit. But what I'm saying is they have set a standard of such a high try-hardiness, dive on the floor, tough, hard-nosed defense, giving a damn. The standard is so high. And last night, where their standard is normally here, they were like right here. Yeah, did they still try hard? Yes. Did they still play hard? Sure. But not to the level that the Suns' standard has been set. And it almost bit them in the ass last night. And part of it has to do with it's easy to be the try-hard team when you're seeing the fruits of your labor blossom right in front of you. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when you're trying really hard and you're winning games that everyone thought you were supposed to lose, it's easy to try hard the next game. But when you go on a 2-game losing skid where 7 of those 8 quarters you did not play very well in, and you're still trying hard, but you're not seeing the fruits of your labor, it gets in your head of like, why am I doing this? Why am I diving on the floor for every loose ball? I'll still try, but I'll try it like a 7, not like a 12 out of 10. And the Suns had some effort issues last night for themselves. And what I'm seeing here is the statistics back that up. Not only were they settling for 3-point jumpers late in this game and early in this game, when that's not their game, they are starting to resort back to the mean in terms of shooting the basketball. That is not good enough. Here are the team's statistics from last night. Rebounding is an effort stat, or at least it can be. They were out-rebounded last night by a lot to Golden State Warriors early. They figured it out kind of late, but they still were out-rebounded by a Warriors team who is not a good rebounding team, who is not a big team. And steals last night, the Suns still averaged a bunch of those. That's good. But they still had 15 turnovers. They were sloppy with the ball again. Well, Ben, that's not fair. They had, they forced 20 turnovers. What do I care? Effort and the ability to try hard is doing everything, not just most of it. And trying hard, if you're going to be the try hard team, isn't something you can do most of the time. It's something you have to do 95% of the time. And the Suns committed too many fouls, or the Suns had too many dumb fouls late last night. I thought their defense was good, not great. And again, the Suns have to be great defensively because they don't have the shot makers that other teams have, that not even the Golden State Warriors have. And so they got to be better. And they've got to try harder because that's what they're built off of. They're the try-hardy team. And so I didn't love their effort. And so, yes, good teams find a way to win ugly. But you give this kind of effort all season long, where you're still trying hard. We're not questioning if you're not trying at all, but you're not going to win a lot of these games. The Suns win their games by giving a damn more than the other team. Not giving a lot, but not everything. Here's the other thing. Dillon Brooks has to be smarter. It's the second straight game now where Dillon Brooks almost cost the Suns a game. And I know everyone is so fond of Dillon Brooks, and I am too. I call him 85-15 Dillon Brooks. 85% of the time, you freaking love Dillon Brooks. He couldn't be more of a plus on the floor, which is why you live with the 15%. That makes you say to yourself, what the hell are you doing? Have you ever played basketball before? He makes you rip your godforsaken hair out sometimes. But that's Dillon. You live with it. You live with all the good things that all the bad things that he does, because the good outweighs it. But last night was another clear example of his like Russell Westbrook tunnel vision, where did I think his flagrant foul and Steph Curry warranted a flagrant foul? Hell no. That was a cheap flagrant foul. It was a soft flagrant foul. But I didn't think he was malicious. I didn't think he did anything wrong. Like, if that's a flagrant foul, I should be getting a lot of fouls in pickup basketball, because I don't ever do anything crazy. But, like, yeah, I've accidentally touched a guy after he shot a three, but, like, it's never intentional. And it was crazy that the officials looked at that play where the Warriors have no challenges. But Dillon still has to know who does the foul matters and recency matters. He's got to be smarter. He's got to be smarter. He's a great basketball player. He's a superstar role player, but he's got to get out of his own way. And he has to understand he's got a target on his back. The officials want to tee him up. They want to give him a flagrant foul. It's easy to do so, and no one's going to look differently at the officials outside of Suns fans. He's got to be smarter. He's got 9 technical fouls this year, guys. And for the second straight game, he almost cost the Suns. He almost did. And it would have gotten really old really quickly, especially in a game as winnable as last night was. And so Dillon has been mostly awesome for this team. But it's that 15% where you're like, what are you doing? You got to get out of your own way. Here's the other thing. Despite, again, what other shows will tell you, because Devin Booker hit some clutch shots late in this game, Booker was bad again. And part of it has to do with him settling for these three-point jumpers that he's just not hitting. Guys, he's shooting 30% from three. That's not hyperbole. That's a stat. 30.2% from three. That's terrible. It's awful. Booker has got to be more cognizant about the shots he's taking. His shot diet is not very appetizing right now. And it wasn't until in the second half where Booker started to get a grip for what he should be doing. My theory is he's shooting these pull-up threes because he's getting double and triple team when he takes the ball down low. And so he feels like a good shot is single coverage or no coverage or slightly covered from three-point land. When in reality, teams aren't doubling him up there because he's not hitting them. The best version of Devin Booker is driving and kicking, creating for others, and getting the ball swung back over to him. He's got to take a more steadier diet of mid-range jumpers, because I've seen his shot chart. It's pretty good from mid-range land. So, I'm not here to kill Booker, because still continuously, as a creator for others, he's been pretty good. But I didn't love what I saw last night. And despite other people bailing him out on social media or on YouTube because he hit a big-time shot over Jimmy Butler, which, make no mistake, took stones to take the lead with that shot, to be having the night that he's having and still hit that mid-range jumper is A, an indictment on his shot diet. He needs to shoot those middies. And B, to know that you've missed all those shots before and still hit that shot with pure killer mindset, like, that's awesome. But you got to be better. We can't have just Devin Booker showing up in the fourth quarter. Now, maybe it's the shorts he was wearing. I don't know. That's what he said. But Booker's going to get better. And his three-point shot is going to tick back up to 33, 34%, which isn't great, but it's not horrendous. Like right now it is. But Book's got to be better and be more cognizant of what he's doing. Outside of that, the main takeaway is good teams find a way to win ugly. And the Suns found a way to win ugly. So credit to them there. They've got the Warriors on Saturday. Hopefully they can get another W. And I believe they will, because they're just the better team. All right, guys. There's 15 of you watching right now. Do me a favor, all of you, help your boy out, who is the sole content creator of this show. There's no producers. There's no social media managers. It's just your boy right here. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Hit the share. Hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. Comment on the show or at me on social media. Tell me why you love me. Tell me why you hate me. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for continuously being here. For my guys Mike and Saul and Jay in the chat, appreciate you guys. Stay safe. Have a Merry Christmas. I'll see you guys on Monday at 8 a.m. We'll be breaking down probably yet another Arizona Cardinals loss. Talk to you guys then. Stay safe.